What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Royally Unapologetic podcast, where we are talking all about building brands that make people pleasers clutch their pearls and dream clients say, oh, hell yes, take my money. Let's get into it. Okay. First of all, welcome back. We're in season 2. I'm super freaking stoked about that. And in this episode, I am going to be sharing some vulnerability and some of my tactics for navigating seasons of growth and all the things that come along with said growth. So if you are also in a season of growth, if you're scaling, you are going to want to listen to this episode. That kind of all. If you are on YouTube, if you are watching this on YouTube, I am so sorry in advance. I am taking a leap of faith and I am allowing myself to suck at something. You will probably notice my eyes like darting off screen, or even just like me reading full sentences, because I write very thorough notes for these episodes, especially with the stuff that I've had on my mind and on my heart to share. So I'm allowing myself to suck on my camera eye contact on YouTube for the time being. I told myself, I almost put my mic away, and I told myself, you're never going to get any better unless you start practicing. So here it is, me allowing myself to suck at something in the beginning so I can grow it to be beautiful and luxurious and amazing. Anyway, back to the episode. If you have been in my world for a while, if you've seen me on Instagram, you probably I'm posting like crazy over there. But if you've been listening to this podcast, if you are on my email list, you may have noticed that I've kind of taken a hiatus from those platforms. And the reason is because I have really been in the weeds on evolving my strategy, my messaging, my marketing mediums, all my different platforms, my assets, and all sorts of other things in my business, because I'm doubling my monthly recurring revenue. And in the coming episodes, I'm going to be talking a lot about the strategic shifts that I'm doing to make this happen. But today I want to focus on the darker side of this expansion. So when you step into a new level of leadership, making more money, doing bigger things, your brain and your nervous system and your old identity are going to do literally everything in their power to not let you become that or not let you do that. And that's because our brains and our bodies and our nervous systems, they are literally hardwired to keep us safe. And when we move to do something we've never done, whether that is making a new income, doing a new service, maybe hopping on a new platform like this one on YouTube, reaching a new audience, you name it, our bodies are like, oh shit, I don't recognize that. That's new. That's different. That isn't safe. And so it's going to go on to do everything to keep you safe, aka not letting you move into that thing that you're trying to do. And often, a lot of the same issues that you have dealt with before come back up. The same limiting beliefs, the same non-aligned actions, the same fears, you name it, they come up again and again. And the thing is, you don't just work through those once. It's not like a one and done thing and then they never come up again. People say all the time, new level, new devil. And ultimately, what I think this is it's more like new level, same devil, bigger boss. And I could probably make an entire podcast episode on just that, but that has really been coming up a lot for me recently. And I want to get vulnerable for a minute and share some of the things that I have been going through so that you can see that it truly does not matter what level of success you see somebody at. They're dealing with their own shit, and this is really going to give you a reminder that you do not reach a certain level of success and then everything is sunshine and rainbows, and that you like never feel insecure ever again. That's just not realistic. You are literally going to constantly deal with this shit, and you are going to need to learn to deal with it in order to grow and reach that level of leadership, that level of income that you actually want to reach. And I also, before I dive in, I want to make it clear that I am by no means a nervous system regulation expert. I'm not an expert in manifestation. I am not an expert in literally anything that I'm talking about in this episode. This is simply my experience and what I do. And after I share some of the bigger things that have been coming up for me, I want to share with you some of the things that I've been doing to help mitigate that and overcome that and really like regulate into this expansion as my new normal, so I can dive into this next level of growth. And you can take some of these practices and do it yourself, so you can also deal with all of your limiting beliefs and move into that next level of growth like a boss. So, as I am moving into the season of doubling my monthly recurring revenue, one of the things that I did was I raised my rates, and I raised those babies significantly. And the thing that has been coming up for me a lot as I have been like regulating into that shift, dealing with it, making it my new normal, is I keep seeing this one person in my industry that I really, really respect. And she's currently making more than me, but she's charging less than what I just raised my prices to. And my brain thinks about her often. My brain essentially tells me she's been in it longer than you, she's better than you, she knows more than you, and she's charging less than you. So you have no right to charge what you're charging. And this is something that comes up every single time I raise my prices. Before I raised my rates to be more than what she's charging, I was getting close to what she was charging. And my brain was like, you have no right. It's literally the exact same thoughts, but on a different level, on a different magnitude. So, like I said, new level, same devil, bigger boss. It's the same shit, just slightly different or in a slightly larger capacity. And so that's been a big one that's been coming up for me. And some other things that have also been coming up for me, I am realizing I'm seeing myself like my body and my brain like trying to slip back into old patterns of behavior. I have been experiencing a lot of like fears around money like abandoning me recently, which is these come up every single time I'm shifting into a new level. It's like I'm making perfect money. I'm fine. Like it's not going anywhere. But I have these thoughts come up because that is what my body is used to. That is what my brain has been doing for so long and thinking for so long that that is the familiar. So it's trying to keep me in the familiar, keep me in a past version of myself so that I don't go into this new level, which is unfamiliar to it. I have even been experiencing limiting beliefs around my body or my relationship with my boyfriend, with certain family members. And this is all old patterns, old belief systems that I thought I got past, and they're all back. And it's just because these are the things that the past version of me has dealt with, and my brain is trying to keep me in that old version again because it's familiar, because it's safe. It doesn't matter if you were miserable in that time of your life, your brain understands it. So it's like, okay, this is familiar. I can deal with this. Even if it sucks for you, I can deal with it. And so your brain, your nervous system, is constantly going to be coming back and trying to stay in the familiar. You have to train it to extend beyond the familiar and be okay with that. And I have so many other random thoughts that pop up throughout the day, and I'm just aware of where they stem from. And they stem from things like abandonment issues, rejection history, money trauma, just past experiences that were painful throughout my life, fear of public failure. And that's what my brain and my nervous system is trying to keep me safe from. And that is what yours is also trying to keep you safe from. And it's on us. It's on me to navigate that for myself, and it's on you to navigate that for you. Because if you just let your body run the show and you don't get a grip on your beliefs and train your nervous system, train your brain, you are never going to expand into that next level of wealth and leadership. Okay, so I told you that I was going to tell you like the things that I'm doing to help navigate this. So, what am I actually doing to deal with this? Because this is not always very fun. It doesn't feel very good. But before I tell you the things that I'm doing, I want to make it clear that this is not the only way to do it. There are tons and tons of different things, different modalities, different ways to regulate, to expand, to combat limiting beliefs. But this is just what I'm personally doing and things that have become some of my new favorites and regular practices for me. So, number one, subliminals. These have become one of my favorite things. I love doing in the morning. Like one of the first things I do is I get up and I put in my headphones and I immediately start playing something subliminal for my next level of growth, for feeling good in my body, for feeling good about myself, whatever it is. I just like to have that first thing in the morning. I do it, listen to it while I am getting ready for the gym, while I'm walking my dog, while I'm making my coffee, what have you. And then I go to the gym, listen to a podcast or a audiobook or whatever, and just move on with my day. I also like to use these as white noise because as an ADHD girly, I like to have audio stimulation throughout the day, and subliminals I feel are a perfect way to do that because it feels like white noise. Depending on the subliminal that you do, there's tons of different kinds, but the girl that I specifically listen to, a lot of her sound like white noise. So it is able to give me a very calming focus while I work, and I'm getting the added benefits of subliminals. Some additional things that I do are things like meditations, prayer, visualization, vision boarding, cord cutting. Cord cutting has become one of my absolute favorite things, and I'm actually going to do a whole episode on this because I think it is an extremely powerful tool for people who are like me, where we struggle to just think better thoughts or think positively or like be kind to yourself. I will go into a whole episode on this because it's literally one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. Another thing is cutting off limiting belief, like thought patterns, and reframing it as a positive. So I have made a conscious effort to speak to myself like I'm my best friend, because you are the only person that you are going to spend the rest of your life with. So you might as well have a good relationship with yourself. And I will literally say out loud, stop. Like if I start to have something bad come up, or I don't even want to say the word bad, but like if I start to have some limiting belief come up or something that I don't want to think, that I don't want to deal with, that I don't want to believe, I will literally say out loud, stop. Sometimes I will physically like stop walking or something like that to really trigger in my body, like, hey, this is not allowed. And then I will choose a different thought. And this is an active practice. I actually started this many years ago to deal with my anxiety. And I'll just tell this like little story just because I want to put it into perspective on how amazing this is and how simple it is. When I first moved into this building, there's like a gap, a significant gap between the elevator and the floor, like when you're getting off the elevator. And I was paranoid literally from day one that I moved into this apartment building. Day one, I thought I was going to drop my keys down that little thing, and I didn't have a spare key at the time. I didn't live with anybody else, and I don't have like a ton of friends in the city. Even still years later, I'm an introvert, but I was so scared of that. And so I used to just say out loud, stop. I don't welcome that energy into my life. I don't welcome that thought into my life. And then I would keep walking and do my thing. And I would practice it actively every single day, every single time I got in that freaking elevator. And it got to a point where I would like start having the thought and I wouldn't even have to say stop. My brain would just automatically stop. I could like feel the thought starting and then it would just disappear. And I like physically am like not able to think that thought in the elevator anymore. Like I can reflect on that history and the fact that I used to have that thought, but my brain has been trained to not think that anymore. So that's an active practice. It's one I absolutely recommend. You can use it for so many different things, but now I'm starting to use it again and continue to use it for these limiting thought patterns that I have. Like if something comes up, I just say, no, stop, not for me. I don't welcome that into my life. And then I choose something different. I choose something that reflects what I want to believe, proof that what I want is possible, that sort of thing. Another one, a new one, a brand new one that I just started using like literally within the last couple days is return to sender. So anytime I have a limiting belief, if I don't say stop and choose a different positive one, I will just say return to sender, because then that's putting in my brain like this isn't from us. This isn't local. This is not from you. This is something outside of us, and outside of us doesn't matter. Couple other things when it comes to like money abandoning me, because yeah, girls got abandonment issues. I give gratitude to all outgoing funds. I have made this a new recent practice where at least once a week I go into my bank account and I literally go through every single expense that I have and I say thank you. I say thank you for giving me this, that, and the other thing. And so I'm putting an energy of gratitude towards money leaving. And it doesn't matter like if it doesn't come back necessarily. It's like I'm giving gratitude because that gave me something in return. Not every dime leaving you is a bad thing. It's giving you something more to give to your life and put into your life, whether that is me paying $25 to go rock climbing with my boyfriend. That is giving me a better relationship with him. It's giving me a better body because I'm able to prioritize my health and my wellness in this activity that I'm also having so much freaking fun with. It's giving me a fun activity to do. So, gratitude to outgoing funds, gratitude daily. Literally every single morning when I am walking my dog, I am always giving gratitudes. I have a minimum rule of 5. Like, I have to give 5 gratitudes every single day, whether that's for my body, for my dog, for the gym, for whatever it is that I'm feeling that day, my phone. I give gratitude every single day. And that is absolutely something that you should implement into your life, whether you're trying to grow a business or not. Kind of in the same vein is acknowledgement of the good. And that is really just like anytime something good happens to me, anytime I get a positive feeling, like I try to acknowledge it. This is new, it's an ongoing practice, and it becomes easier and easier. You treat it like a muscle, you work it like a muscle, you constantly improve it, and it will get better and it will get easier. So sometimes it's me just acknowledging like how good the weather is right now, how good the sun feels on my skin. Today I took my shoes off and I stood in the grass and I was like, wow, this grass is so soft on my feet. This feels so nice. Just acknowledging the good, because if you acknowledge the good now, you're going to be able to acknowledge the good later. And this is something that I have actually told some of my clients, is that when you're expanding into new level of income specifically, if you cannot be happy with what you have now, you're not going to be happy with more money. So learn to be happy now, learn to acknowledge the good now, or you're going to be miserable for the rest of your life. Another thing that has been really helpful to both me and my clients is working through the worst case scenario. So I want you to think about the fear that you have, a limiting belief that you have, something like that that's preventing you from reaching the growth that you want to reach. What is the worst case scenario that you could think of around that topic? And a lot of times, at least for me, a lot of it comes down to visibility. And then I work through like what that worst case scenario is, and I put a plan into action. Like, this is, if this happens, if this worst case scenario happens, which is honestly really unlikely, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to handle it. And then you have a plan. And when you work through the worst case scenario, a couple things happen. One, you realize how unlikely it is for that thing to happen. Like, a lot of your worst case scenario fears are so unreasonable. It's actually kind of funny. Like, you look at it and you're like, oh, wow, like, girl, you're stressing way too much. And another thing is like, you realize like, okay, I actually have a plan of action to deal with this. Like, if it happens, I'm going to be okay. And you see, like, it's actually not that bad. Like, you're stressing hardcore over this thing that's very unlikely to happen. And if it does happen, it's really not that bad. Like, it's not that big of a deal. That it happens every single time, or most of the time when you work through a worst case scenario. Like, what are you going to do with it? And you realize you have a plan and everything's going to be fine. And lastly, the last thing that I'll share of the things that I'm doing to combat this is seeking out the proof of what's possible. So even though I can have these thoughts about this other person making more than me and charging less, and I can ruminate on that and just like dig into that and let that rule me and like prevent me from raising my prices, as I absolutely should and absolutely have credibility to, I also have proof that there are people who make the income that I'm creating for myself, the income that I want to make, maybe even more than me, and they're charging more than me. Great, that's the thing I'm insecure about. Even though I would consider them less capable than me. Like, we've all had this thought of like looking at somebody and being like, maybe their work isn't that great, or like whatever it is that you're like insecure about, and you're like, but like, why do they have it? Like, I'm so much, this sounds so conceited, but like, let's just be real, have a girl talk here. You look at that person and you're like, well, I'm so much more capable, or I'm just as capable, or maybe I'm better in this area than them, and they're still making so much more than me, or they have this thing that I want, whatever. That's a very human experience. I'm just going to say that. It's not a bad thing to feel that way. I know saying it out loud kind of sounds like mean, but it's a very human experience. It's a very normal experience. So I'm just going to be real about that. We've all had that experience where we look at somebody and we're like, but I'm at your level or higher. Why do I not have that thing? And that is proof that you are so capable, that you are so powerful, and that you are so deserving of the thing that you want. And so you have to actively seek out proof of the things that you want. And I have others as well, but these are the most common things that I've been using. And these are things that I love. They're things that have become like a daily practice for me. So, like seeking out the proof of what's possible. Anytime I have an opportunity to see that, I'm going to use it. If I can do return to sender or stopping a limiting thought pattern and replacing it with a new one, cord cutting, like I said, I'm going to have a whole episode on that. I'm so excited. But I have all of these practices. I love them. You can use them too. And what I really want this episode to be is just a reminder to you that one, the work is never done. You are always going to face challenges and you're going to have something to grow into regardless of what level of success you're at. Like, regardless, if you're at 100K, if you are at a million, it does not matter. You are going to have these things come up and you have to learn to navigate them, and you have to learn to navigate them for that season because they always freaking come back. And number two is you can control your mind and your body, and there are so many different ways that you can do it that are genuinely like so fun and empowering, and they feel so good. And it's just a matter of like finding what those things are for yourself, the things that feel good to you, the things that actually work for you. We're going to take that chiming church as like, yes, this is correct, affirmation, if you will. But I just really felt called to share that because this is such a part of the journey that a lot of people don't talk about. It's just like, oh, surprise, I'm doubling my monthly recurring revenue. Here's the strategies that I'm implementing. And yes, I am going to be talking about the strategy in the coming episodes, but this is one like darker side of growth that I don't see a lot of people talking about. And so I wanted to be real and raw and tell you guys what I'm experiencing and what I'm doing to navigate it. So if you liked this episode, please rate and review the show, leave a comment, shoot me a DM on Instagram, share it to your story, share it with a business bestie. I am so grateful for you. I am so grateful to be back for season 2. And I really, really just, I want this podcast to be so good for you guys. So if you ever have questions, ever have suggestions, shoot me a DM and let's chat. I will see you guys in the next one.